Hi, this is Scott Springer. This is the Press Preps Roundtable from the mothership today, the Glen Hartong Man Cave here. Nick Dudukovich on my left, and on my right, Ben Walpole talking some high school football. And first off, a lot of Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown games. We picked a few. We missed a few. Some of us got some right. What are your surprises?
Hey, I'll take some dap. I had Princeton over Anderson.
Yeah, you did.
What do you know? 40-33, the Vikings come up the winner.
Yeah, and Anderson really handed them the game. A lot of turnovers there, and still a chance to win late in the game. And for some reason, Princeton's throwing the ball and gave Anderson a chance, but not to be on that night. Princeton gets the win.
Yes, they do. A lot of athletic kids running that triple option there at Princeton. I look for them to put up a lot of points this season.
We had Walnut Hills over Wyoming. At least I did.
You guys called that. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I mean,
Walnut
clearly Walnut
has some
is
good
turning the corner.
athletes. George Constant's doing a very good job over there, and it wasn't necessarily Davis had a kickoff return for the Eagles, but it was their other running back that got it done on that night. Now you can brag a little bit because you picked Mount Healthy.
I did pick Mount Healthy.
And we did not.
They look like they're, it's 1 week.
We took Roger Bacon. We went GCL. We went what's the gambler's term that they call that?
Wrong.
Letting it ride?
I don't know. I don't gamble, so it's probably a good thing that I know.
It was two playoff type teams. Good matchup, but Mount Healthy really handled them. Obviously, a good start for them. How about Coleraine? I mean,
you got brownie points first off. Bring that up.
I did.
Melanie Lockman, our editor, went to Mount Healthy, and therefore you've got brownie points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the brownies, but
and we're hoping that you'll share too.
I enjoyed the pizza.
All right, continue.
Coleraine. I mean, that's probably the biggest local win of the week.
Man, great way to start the season. 17-7 over another nationally ranked, of course, the Rivals.com poll, another nationally ranked team.
Right.
I just went totally Florida on that, figuring, state champion, 38 straight wins, that they play all year long, and then give credit to Coleraine. They might really have something. I mean, they always have something, but, I mean, they might really have something this year.
They got a lot of speed, too. I know Florida, they're known for their speed, but, you go to Coleraine, you're going to find that same kind of speed there.
It's a weird game because I don't know how it's going to affect their Harbin points necessarily. Yeah. In a huge way, but just as far as confidence-wise, to come off a win like that, setting up the rest of the season for Coleraine, I mean, that's
and
just
then they play
huge.
Ryle this coming week, and I don't know how that goes, but you got to go Coleraine in that one.
You would think.
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely got to go Coleraine again in this one. I mean, Ryle's a good team, but I don't put them at the same level as Coleraine. And how about Lakota West transfer who started for Coleraine last week, Alfred Ramsby at quarterback. He did a good job, not making mistakes, kind of managed the game, and that's key when you kind of run the option like Coleraine does.
And Joe Bolden was as advertised.
Joe Bolden even threw a pass in that game.
Yeah.
Completed it for 36 yards or something.
Bolden going to the Wolverines.
There you go. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. See Joe up north next season.
What's else on the Nick menu here?
Let's see, what else do I got this week? We talked about Wyoming already, but I'm looking at the Wyoming-Turpin game. Turpin lost a really interesting game to Loveland last week. They were down early, came back and tie it, and then Loveland just goes ahead and it takes the 42-28 victory. And this is a big week for Turpin. I think a lot of people thought they would win last week, and now they got to get back and they got to get into the victory column with a win this week.
I think the Cowboys. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Two teams that you really kind of expect to be there in the playoffs at the end. Sure. One of them is going to be 0-2 after this weekend, so that's kind of a hole.
The Cowboys have a sophomore quarterback, Will Marty, 3 touchdown passes, so he played well against Walnut, but and you got to figure Wyoming, and they're not used to losing either. Tough game. Is that at Turpin?
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that is.
One to look forward to there, the Spartans and the Cowboys.
Definitely.
Who else?
I got NCH at Roger Bacon this week. Roger Bacon, we already talked about this one too, got blown out against Mount Healthy. They need a win too. I like NCH a lot. This Tevin Brown, running back for North College Hill, talk of the town, 6 touchdowns, ties a school record. 198 yards on 12 carries. It's just ridiculous. Forget about it. I mean, you can't argue numbers.
Trojans over Spartans.
I like that. I mean, NCH hasn't lost a regular season game in 3 years.
23 games or something like that, Ben. Yeah.
Pretty strong.
Pretty strong.
Any others that you have?
Yeah, I've got a couple really interesting games. Another game with playoff caliber type teams that could be looking at an 0-2 hole. We got New Richmond at McNicholas Friday night, Division III matchup. Both teams definitely expecting to be banging at a playoff.
Tough loss for New Richmond. They lost to Indian Hill.
It was a heartbreaker last week for New Richmond.
Dr. Krimchek's son Teddy, 2 touchdown catches there.
Right.
I saw the doc on the Moeller sideline. He's Moeller's doctor.
Pretty excited, I'm sure.
I hang with famous people.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Not to name drop, but
No, I do that too.
no. New Richmond needs a win. I mean, I think this is a great New Richmond team potentially. They've got a great senior class. I think it's a really big must-win for them. I like their chances Friday.
I like New Richmond too because their defense, led by Dan Scholes. McNicholas, I think you're going to see them struggle offensively this year. I think we saw that in the crosstown showdown against Covcath. And it's just, they got a lot of young guys, and it's going to kind of take some time to get used to playing at the varsity level.
Scott, you jump in on some picks here for
I've got
games?
Anderson and Withrow. And Withrow, you cover Anderson. Withrow got smacked by Sycamore. Now, Sycamore is highly talented, but I saw Withrow practice, and I thought they had a lot of skill there. Watching Anderson, they might be susceptible to the Tigers' speed. It is at Withrow. Jim Place is not likely to go 0-2. Anderson has their work cut out for him because they really turned the ball over against Princeton in week 1. So that's one that could go either way. I don't really want to pick one there.
I'm not going against Coach G and the guys 2 weeks in a row. So I'll take Anderson.
Well, yeah, and they've got some things that they need to work on. And last year they didn't look great in their first game. They did win against Oak Hills, and then they went on and had a decent season.
Kings is traveling to Milford, Division II versus Division I on Friday. Both teams 1-0. Kings took it to them last year pretty good, and I think Kings is probably the favorite. But I think Milford has a shot. Very physical team, a lot of solid depth. Kings probably has a little bit more talent, certainly more playoff pedigree. But I think it's going to be closer than maybe people think.
Moeller and Hamilton, too, want to throw that in. I saw Moeller. Moeller looks really good. Spencer Icavone did a nice job at quarterback, the junior. Keith Watkins at running back. They did a very good job. Hamilton, I missed out on. I didn't take the Big Blue, and I think you did. I believe so.
I you want to give me credit? Sure, I did.
Did you take them too? All right, I didn't. I'm sorry, Big Blue, but I didn't take Hamilton, and they looked all right. So, but having said that, I'm going to take the Crusaders over Hamilton this week. And then Loveland and Lebanon, I'll be at that game, and I'm taking the Tigers over Lebanon because Loveland, that's a heck of a win over Turpin, really, in the FAVC.
After what I saw, I am liking Loveland a lot.
And their backfield is young. Peters is a junior. The quarterback, Terry, is a junior. Gunnar Lay, their fullback, is only a sophomore. So a lot of young, got the Fools up front, though, the Fraternal Order of Offensive Linemen, the Fools. Big article on them coming out, by the way, too.
Heard about that. Coach Elkin at Milford was actually telling me this week about Loveland. He was familiar with a lot of their kids in junior high when he was coaching wrestling and track. The junior high kids, 2-3 years ago. So obviously now they're starting to be, the starters on this football team. I guess it's, a really talented group. So definitely a team to look out for.
Any final thoughts?
It was a great first week. Can't wait for week 2.
Plus, we got pizza on the way, so we got to wrap this up big time. La Rosa's courtesy of Mel.
And my brownies.
There's your free ad, 347-1111. You can advertise if you like to. Give us a call. This is the Press Preps Roundtable. Scott Sprenger, Nick Dudukovich, Ben Walpole. See you later.